It's political empire time again. This is Jeff Horseman with the Press Enterprise MP.com here to talk about a Democratic group that is going to be challenging a Republican representative in 2014. And speaking of challenges, we are looking at a rematch in a congressional district, a rematch from last November. So Emily's List, which supports female Democratic candidates for Congress, is targeting a seat held by Inland Representative Gary Miller. The group contends that Miller, a Rancho Cucamonga Republican, and other 2014 targets have, quote, appallingly anti-women, anti-family, unquote, voting records. There is also, they say, major Democratic female talent waiting in the wings to take on Miller and these other targets. Now, one gentleman who represented the Inland area in Congress for a long time wants a seat back, and he's going to try to take it from the woman who defeated him in November. We're talking, of course, about Joe Baca, and he is going to be running in the congressional district currently represented by McLeod. And here to talk a little bit about this potential rematch is reporter Jim Miller. Jim, now I understand that some people are kind of scratching their heads that Congressman Baca would want to take on Congresswoman McLeod again.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the right description for it. I mean, he got, he lost by 12 percentage points in back in November. I mean, there's no obvious, change in circumstances. If he runs again, she'll be the incumbent. The mayor of New York, Michael Bloomberg, who played a role in the November race at the last several days there and doing some independent expenditures against then Congressman Baca, presumably would get involved again. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. When he actually pulls filing papers, then I guess it will be real. I mean, the other thing that's kind of a little surprising about this, his name had been mentioned as a potential candidate for the 31st Congressional District, which is right next door to the 35th Congressional District and is represented by Gary Miller, who was just elected in November. And so his name had been mentioned in that context, but it seems now he may be more that the former congressman might be going for the rematch.
All right. And again, we mentioned at the top of the show that Congressman Miller's seat is already being eyed by Democratic groups such as Emily's List and others. So remind us again, like what happened with the race last year, and you mentioned the involvement of Mayor Bloomberg and his super PAC. So can you just recap kind of what took place?
Sure. I mean, this was, like everything else last year, was a product of redistricting. The lines were redrawn to reflect population shifts primarily, and in the case of Congressman Baca, he had represented a district that was kind of the core, the urban core of San Bernardino County. After redistricting, more or less that area was divided between the 31st Congressional District, which was kind of Marginally Democratic leaning, and then the much more Democratic 35th Congressional District. And Senator McLeod, who was in the state Senate at that point, announced she was going to run for the 35th. But then Congressman Baca, who lived in the 31st, announced he was going to run for the 35th as well. And that set up a race between the two. And I think Congressman Baca was seen at some point to be the favorite, but ended up losing, like I said, by 12 percentage points on Election Day.
All right. Well, it would certainly be an interesting rematch if it comes to be, so we'll have to keep everybody posted. But thank you very much, Jim, for your time, and thank you for watching Political Empire. We'll continue to follow this and all the other political developments going on in Inland Southern California. Thanks for watching.